Good morning. How are you this morning? So I hope everybody is doing well and healthy. Yeah, I can see that the COVID virus is getting lower and lower, and then maybe because of there was a vaccination, probably people are nowadays people are more concerned about their health, and then maybe they are more careful. Yeah, for hanging around with the people. So anyway, it's good news, but still, we gotta be careful and stay healthy and eat very well and take rest very well. People will started and then people will get started. I'm gonna share the Bible verse that I read this morning. It's related to our lecture next week. So there is the spirit. So today I read James chapter 5 1 through 6. I can read it for you. Okay. Come now, you rich people, weep and cry aloud over the misery that are coming upon you. Your wealth is rotted, and your clothing has become become yeah. Your clothing has become moth-eaten. Your gold and silver have become corroded, and their corrosion will be witness against you. It will be consume your flesh like a fire. You have store of treasure in the last days. Behold, the wages were held back by you from the workers who reap your field cry out. And the cries of the reapers have come upon to the ears of the Lord host. You have lived indulgently on the earth and have lived luxuriously. You have fattened your heart in days of the slaughter. You have condemned, you have murdered the righteous person. He does not resist you. So it's about kind of how the rich people who boast their wealth and then who kind of oppressed the weak people and then took advantage of their labors and then it's coming. Their judgment is coming, not right now, but it's about something happen. It's about something will happen in the future, right? Kind of futuristic, and sometimes when you read the Bibles and a lot of content is like this. A lot of people are suffering right now, and then but sometimes there is no hope because of the systematic oppression and systematic discrimination, all kind of stuff, and then nothing to do, right? But the Christians believes that God's judgment is coming up in the days of in the last day, right? So that is kind of a prophetic kind of a text, and then that is a kind of eschatological text. It's about telling something coming up, right? So next week we're gonna study about this one. So just think about this verse and then throughout the day, and maybe some of you guys are really comforted by this verse, and some are really offended. I don't know, but this is a text that we needed to interpret right? And then another is there is kind of look at this. The verse is. Your gold, verse 3, your gold and silver has become corroded, and their corrosion will be a witness against you, and it will consume your flesh like fire. So the corrosion is what will consume your flesh like fire. Can you imagine this one? Yeah, sometimes the Bible uses a figurative speech language like this. They will say plain blah 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 and this right. But sometimes they use a kind of little bit abstract things, but try to give some idea, right, to understand more. There is a figurative speech, figurative expression, right? Just think about what it means here. Person, you really consume your flesh like a fire, right? Just think about their boasting, especially materials that they are boasting. You really like consume your flesh like fire. It's nothing, right? That's a kind of expression that we're gonna study today. And okay, let's go to today's lecture. Okay. Interesting is, in the morning, I talked to my wife about how much we got that, right? So as a citizen in the state of United States, and as a citizen of the United States, how much we owe? Do you know how much it's gonna be? So by one of your calculations, when you are a citizen of this country, it's about 68,000 dollars, $68,000 kind of debt because you are a citizen of this country. But if you are a taxpayer, it's a lot. So kind of rough figure I remember that is about $183,000 the debt if you file taxes in this country. Wow. I don't know. yeah, where the debt comes from, and then to whom we have to pay to, right? Pay. But this is the current situation about Americans' economic status. It seems like doing very well, and we don't even nothing left, but still it's a lot of things going on inside, right? Anyway, that's I found out in the morning. Anyway, Jesus, we study about the principle of the what interpretations. What is the principles? First one is we gotta know the context, right? We gotta interpret the Bible what with literal word, right? Word. It's not abstract. It's not allegorical. By word and grammatically. And then we gotta know the what historical and cultural background, right? So we gotta know. We are learning about genres and rhetorical, and structures and genres. So Bible contains a lot of different genres, in terms of literature, right? So when we interpret the Bible, the text, we gotta consider all of this one, right? And but when that is kind of this today like is kind of a contradictory to the literal interpretation. we said that we gotta understand each word and each phrase and each sentence, right? With the grammatical and synthetic, etymology and semantics and word, all kind of things. What is the meaning? And then what is a straightforward, right? What does this word mean? So we gotta really focus about that one. But sometimes like this, and your corrosion will consume your flesh like a fire. What does it mean that one? Can you understand it with just a little understanding? No way, right? Sometimes people use the kind of language that it's not an ordinary way. It's a lot of abstract and they kind of non-literal ways. So they use a kind of a different way. Maybe the phrase is about really popular at the times, and sometimes they use their creativity though. But people can understand it. Sometimes they don't understand what it means, but that's why they have to ask him. When Jesus Christ said in parables, and then some of his disciples and they don't understand them, right? And then can you explain what you said like this? Sometimes we gotta we gotta interpret what the author tried to do, intend the message, try to deliver, right? And like so when you take a test, right, and poem is there, kind of a symbolic word is there, what it means. You gotta basic your knowledge and understanding. You gotta understand the sentence or phrase, and then you gotta choose the right choice, right? In the test, like this. So we gotta know kind of why they use this one and what is behind. What is the meaning that the author tried to deliver? So figurative expression is kind of one of the skills that author can use it. Sometimes when I learning the writing class here, and when I was in college, and then so my language is really limited. It's my active language, right? If I read books, and it's okay. I can understand it because I have a high vocabulary. But if I write in, my vocabulary is very limited because I had really little active vocabularies. But just think about it. I repeat the same structure and same word a lot, and it's really bored, and they don't like it. So they change the structure and they change the word and different similar word and different word, and then paper come up totally different because it depends on who edited my paper. My paper is totally different, right? Because they have a different ability to express. So figurative expression, and one of is kind of that's kind of a skill that they express in different way, not ordinary way. And then wisdom is kind of wisdom is like people kind of get the insight of life, right, from their experience. That's why we're gonna learn about today how we gotta understand and interpret the text. Jesus said it like this, and I have said these things to you in figures of speech. Jesus used a lot of figurative speeches, right? He said that the hour is coming when I will no longer speak to you in figures of speech, but will tell you plainly about the Father. In that day you will ask in my name, and I do not say to you that I will ask the Father on your behalf. For the Father himself loves you because you have loved me and have believed that I came from God. I came from the Father and have come into the world. now I am leaving the world and going to the Father. So Jesus Christ said he used a lot of figurative language. Here is common example is there. Jesus used the figurative language to describe his persons and work. Example are included his right here. I am bread, light, gate, shepherd, resurrection, life. Can you say I? Mean that I am life. I'm bread. Can you imagine that? People, how can we say that? I'm bread of life. I'm bread. Yeah, that's why we gotta understand what it means. But when you understand this one, that's why we need to understand the historical background, why people are using that one, and then we gotta understand in the context. Without context, we don't understand it. Yeah, what it means, right? So we understand the text in literal the word that has meaning based on that one, but still there is a lot of figurative languages there, so we gotta be careful, right? What is a figurative expression is, and the languages express the literal or figurative meaning and reflected what? The physical or spiritual aspect. So try to deliver the different way. Yeah, deliver the message in different way, right? So there is a lot of definitions here, A, B, C, and then but this one, think about it. Represented by a figure or resemblance. There is a similarity, and pick up the word, and sometimes there is no similarity. And another one is the express one thing in terms normally denoting other, which is maybe regarded as an analogy, right? Sometimes they use metaphor, like the Lord is my shepherd. The Lord is kind of Lord is what? Lord and God, but God is a shepherd. It's kind of a different, we cannot understand that one, right? God is a perfect and absolute being, but how can be a shepherd? But think about the author tried to explain that God is a shepherd, and the what is the shepherd's characteristic in that time. Why they call the king the shepherd at that time, right? So that's why try to describe the God who protected sheep and who cares for sheep, right? God is protecting his people and care for his people. They try to deliver this message in this way. The Lord is my shepherd. That is a metaphor. So there is a lot of way that they use, use the figurative language, and then a lot of different terms I never say, but I learned when I prepare for this lecture. Yeah. Look at this. What is I got this one. I tried to research a lot about figurative language and expression. So try to find it's the easiest one that you guys can understand. So what is the kind of bilingual nautical, and then she summarized what she had learned, and then like this. What is the figurative language? And figurative language is a language that use word or expression with a meaning that is different from the literal expression. It's not a literal, so I am going to school. You mean that literally I'm going to school, right? It's not that way. But often to describe something by comparing something else to create mental pictures with the word, right? Like the Lord is my shepherd. You can, the Lord means a kind of, you can, shepherd means you can imagine the shepherd, right? Look at this. And figurative language allows people to express abstract thought, right? Yeah, caring, yeah, protecting. I know what it's about. We know about them, but it creates tones and communication emotional content, often through the humor. It's a lot of a different way they try to deliver, but kind of in abstract way to let them think more, right? Just kind of they try to do everything is kind of condensed in one word, like a shepherd. Think about the characteristic of a shepherd, like this, yeah, like this, right? And figurative language helps reinforce group identity, help the, yeah, kind of, yeah, in the business, yeah, setting, like this. And help sell product by bringing certain image of a culture, cultural idea to mind. Just think about nowadays advertisement, right? Yeah, yesterday Super Bowl days, and then do you know how much they're gonna make? How much they're gonna spend into 5 seconds and 10 seconds? It's the same. They're trying to deliver kind of let them not forget about that one, and then use a different way that people could remember. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that is kind of a figurative language. Okay. So it's not a literal expression, but a little bit abstract and different way. It's not unconventional. It's not a conventional way, but traditional way, but still deliver the message, right? Look at this. It's a lot of different things, and they try to do that. And I don't know whether you guys take English class and your kind of class and your country kind of language class and Korean or Chinese and Japanese, and then there's a lot of grammars there, like yeah, right. And then similes and metaphors, and it's not foreign to you guys, right? You already know, but maybe the word in English, yeah, you never heard because you know it in your language, but yeah, you might not know this terminology, but still, you know what it means. So figures express what's a living involved in comparison. It's a kind of different ways. How many ways? It's a three ways. Kind of comparing, right? It's a simile. Simile is a comparison in which one thing is explicitly expressed like this. Uh, Usually use the word like, use the word like and as, right? So show the kind of a kind of similarity. Look at this. And all flesh is like grass. All flesh is grass. They kind of, that's a simile, like a grass. How is it similar? All flesh means our body, our life, human beings' life, right? It's not gonna be forever. Live in this world. Sometimes we're gonna die and we're gonna pass away and nothing on our body, physical body. When you die and people say that I come from the what? Dust and go back to dust. Like grass. Just think about grass. It doesn't live forever. Maybe every year they kind of, every spring sprout and grow and flower, and then during the winter time and it's gone, right? Perennial is every year coming up, but not forever. Like this one. So all flesh is like grass. That's one way that figurative. So there is kind of you can feel emotionally, and you can see the emphasis, right? Kind of your urgency of life. Our life is like a very, very short. Yeah, ephemeral, right? Very short, like a fog. Last night I walked with the dog at night, and so it's a really I had really had fog in my around my house, but we walk around and some part is very clear, less than 30 minutes. Yeah, that's why we need a reason to reason for how we shall live a life in this world. Like it is, I send you out as lambs in the midst of wolves. Lambs, wolves. There is contrast, but lambs is kind of sorry. Yeah, sorry. So lambs is kind of here is kind of disciples, and it's really unprotected, but people his disciples send it to the people really wicked, like cunning, and kind of a people that Jesus Christ is described in this way. What about the metaphor? Metaphor is a comparison in which one thing is what acts like a respondent to another. I already told you about all flesh is grass, but it's not like, but it's kind of comparing the same level, right? And the Lord is my shepherd. It's like a metaphor. Like this, you are the salt of the earth. You are the light of the world. This is kind of this is a metaphor. But just think about you are the salt of the world, and think about the salt. Us, kind of comparing how you need to live in this world, right? That's the way that they don't write down everything in detail. Oh, you have this one, but just one language, right? The salt, light. It's very congested, but it really contains a lot of stuff, right? That's why from here, a lot of allegorical understanding is there. They ignore the kind of literal meaning, word meaning, and sometimes they try to get the meaning of the spiritual meaning from that one. That's why it is sometimes really totally out of context because they don't think about the context, right? Here is another one. So based on the comparison, is what's hypocatastasis kind of implication. So comparison in which the likeness is implied by a direct name. Like so, dog has surrounded me. What's a dog? Right? We don't know the dog, but it connotates what? It's really negative image at the time. So the Israeli people consider what? Gentiles dog. It's not like a pet nowadays we live together. It's really kind of a negative image. Beware of the dogs. Jesus Christ used this one. But here, in the context-wise, and think about the Pharisees who has kind of the religious form and then try to worship and study the Bible, but in their way, in formality, they have everything and really godly and looks pious, but still their heart is not there. That's why Jesus Christ pointed out their dogs. No, this was Paul. Paul. Yeah. Like this, and sometimes there is kind of comparison. Sometimes, like they say it's alike, but this was kind of one-to-one. Sometimes implies something, right? And compare. There is comparison. There's one of the way that used the figurative expression. What about the figurative expression about substitutions? They try to replace the meaning with something, right? This one. So metonymy. So change of the noun, the substituting of one word for another. Sometimes the cause is used for the effect, sometimes effect is used for the cause, and sometimes object is used for something pertaining to it or vice versa. Jeremiah said, let us strike at him with our tongue. Right? What is the effect? Our tongue. Just think about it. Let us strike at him with our tongue. Strike with not your fist, with your tongue. Do you know what it means that one? Something you say something. Yeah, right? What about this one? Psalm 51:10 is that I will love you, Lord, my strength. The Lord is my strength. The Lord is my strength. Kind of what they changed what? The Lord is my strength. And why the psalmist say that the Lord is my strength? So in 1 Corinthians 10:21, you cannot drink the cup of the Lord. And there is the object, the cup of the Lord. Can you? Yeah. There is kind of way that, what does it mean that one? The Lord is a cup and drink the cup, right? What, for wine or for beer and for water, whatever. But it's not literally not the meaning though. You cannot take a cup of the drink. So what is a cup means that his life, right? His work mean. Yeah, like this way though. So that's why we need to understand the literal meaning, but still there is another way that the authors used their kind of a technique of expression, right? So what about this one? Synecdoche, kind of it's hard to pronounce. I've never seen this word. Synecdoche, right? That one is kind of a transfer. It means a transfer, the substitute part of the whole for the parts. Kind of a part transfer to whole, or vice versa. Like this. A census of all nation, but all the world. Just think about census is kind of in Israel, right? And Joseph, there was a time that the King Herod and they tried to do census about how many people are in this their region in Israel, and they go to a new birthplace and register, right? But this is a kind of their Israel whole, not the whole world, the Israel, but it's a symbolizes kind of a whole world, right? Part in whole. What about the part for the whole? Whole for part, yeah? They use the whole, the world, but it's not a whole world. What about the part for the whole? Salvation, it's Romans and Greek, and there's a salvation to Greeks and then salvation to everybody, but specific. They say Jew, Gentile, and Greek, like this. And they kind of salvate, it means that everybody, but still pick a specific, some Gentiles and Greeks. What about the morism? A transfer of two opposite parts for the whole. So, the form of was a synecdoche in which the total or whole is substituted by to contain or opposite part like this. Thou, you know when I sit and when I rise up. God knows what? When I sit and when God knows everything. It means they were kind of, and kind of sit and down, sit and rise, kind of a different meaning, different way, but still try to opposite meaning, but still put together, right? And it means that God knows everything about us, about you, right? That is a try to say. The author tried to say. What about this one? Sorry. Another one, Hermeneutics. Hermeneutics. Or 2 for 1. Just think about the substituting of two coordinate terms, right? And or about and for a single concept. So just try to just think about one single concept, but they use two. Like this. Genesis 3:16 and look at it, Acts 1:25. This ministry and apostleship, it's a kind of the same thing, right? Ministry and work for the God, and apostleship is what? Who is apostle? Who saw the Jesus Christ? Who met the Jesus Christ? Who teaches by the Jesus Christ, right? That's why the Luke said that ministry and apostleship means the what? The apostolic ministry. And who is what? Apostle, who is doing the ministry. But like this, they kind of use two words, but one meaning. What about Philippians 2:17? Sacrifice and priestly service. Just think about sacrifice. At that time, there was a priest to do the sacrifice to God and burn the animals, and sometimes they cannot do it and bring their monies and give to God. That is a priest's job, right? With a certain ritual. The sacrifice and the priestly service mean the what? The sacrificial priestly service. One thing, but they use separate. This one is the personification. Personification is a Bible used a lot. This one, like this, mountains and seas and praise the Lord. Like this, they use a lot. they ascribe of human characters or action to in animated object or ideas to animals. So the wilderness, just think about it. There is no there is no whole we cannot see, right? There is no life, but like this, like a human being, and then they consider it, right? Wilderness and desert will be glad. The tree of the field will clap their hands. Can you see that? That's your imagination, right? That's why kind of when I call the artist, when I see the artist, it's really amazing. Sometimes I watch YouTube and then they started just to, put some, drop some colors of, painting, and then they do something, and about 10 minutes later, it came out totally, it came out amazing, amazing, painting. Yeah, it's kind of a different kind of a talent, ability to express. Yeah, that's one. Just think about trees, the field with clapping their hands. I don't know how much people can imagine this one. Yeah. Yeah, anthropomorphism. This one ascribe all human characters action to God, right? There's a work of just think about it. Yeah, we cannot see the God, but it's a that's the inhuman way, and then the expression like this. Oh, God is working this way, right? His fingers work. Just the fingers maybe draw and other things, but we cannot see God how He's doing. But describe like this, and then the eyes of the Lord moves to yeah toward and back and forth like this, right? Just like yeah, describing God is like a human being. I will watch over you, right? He tried to deliver the message in human terms. What about this one? Anthropopathism? Yeah, anthropopathism ascribe human beings emotion to God. Well, it's the same, but it's a different terminology. Just think about we are angry, right? We are jealous, like this. Yeah, God said, "I'm." Yeah, you can read the Bible and it's I'm jealous of God. I'm jealous of that, like this, and then I am exceedingly jealous for Zion, like this. God has kind of emotion like us, right? They describe in a way. What about Judaism? Judaism is like ascribe of animal characteristics to God, right? He has gnashed at me with his teeth, like this, right? I don't know. Yeah, it's a really interesting expression. Yeah, that is a kind of figurative language and apostrophe. It's a direct address to a thing, yeah, as if you were a person, or to an accent or imaginary person as if present. But there is nothing, any person is there, but they imagine that someone is here, right? And like a song. Why else you, O sea and you please, listen, O earth, right? Just think about this one. Any, just, there is no person, right? But still, they are listening, right? Kind of assuming that one. Kind of, literature, expression. Euphemism is euphemism, the substituting of the in offensive or mild expression for an offensive or personal one. Look at this in Judges 3:24. He is covering his feet. What does it mean, that one? And Acts 7, and he fell asleep. It's kind of, you die. Yeah, maybe in your language you have a different way to express, right? When you die in English and died and passed away and like this and maybe killed, a little bit different way, but still died, right? But like this, and then they use a little bit bad, try to express in better way, not so straightforward. Sometimes the omission or suppression, look at this, and ellipsis in the middle, the omission of a word or word, and look at the Act 8, 18:6, you blood upon your head. But may your blood be upon your head. It's kind of, the language is kind of be is omitted and may is omitted, right? That is a kind of expression that used. Sometimes in for foreigners like me, and then maybe I can understand the sentence is completely structured by grammar, and then it's easy for me. But sometimes when I read the structures and some is omitted and changes and kind of all these changes, it's really confusing. Like this, and then sometimes that's why sometimes when I read the Bible and I don't get it, but still word is not hard, but I don't get it, and then I go back to my Korean Bible and read it and compare it, and maybe sometimes I read the Korean Bible and it's not clear, and then come to the English Bible and then more clear, like this. Romans 11:12. Otherwise, if you don't continue in His likeness, kindness, you will be cut off. And then this, parenthesis, and if you do not continue in His kindness, it's kind of omitted. So, so that is one of the way that they use, right? Kind of economy in expression. So few words and they try to deliver it, and maybe that's why. And maybe at that time people can understand, but think about 2000 years later, and then it's hard to understand, especially for foreigners. What about jugma? The joining of two nouns to one verb. When logically one of these nouns goes with one verb. Just think about his mouth was opened and his tongues. But it is mouth, tongues is kind of concluded opened. That's why it's kind of erase, and then there is kind of a different expression, right? Like this. And 1 Corinthians 3:2, and I gave you milk to drink. What? Not solid food. Solid food is kind of liquid, and milk is kind of liquid. What? Come to drink. That is one of the ways that they use. What about this one? Apostle pieces. Apostle pieces, and then sudden break in the sentence as if the speaker is not able to finish. maybe, yeah, maybe, I don't know whether you had experience, sometimes your emotion and sometimes something really agony in your heart and you say something and you cannot finish, like this kind of a feeling. But now, if thou will forgive their sins, and if not, like this. And Ephesians 3:1 is kind of, for this reason I, Paul, the pioneer of Christ, the prisoner of Christ Jesus, for the sake of you Gentiles, if I need you have heard. And you have heard what? Kind of pause and guess, right? Apostolic pieces. What about the rhetorical question? Rhetorical question is asked rhetorically, which does not require verbal response, but which forces the reader to answer in mind and consider implication of the answer. So, just kind of we try to get an answer from them, and we try to get the agreement from them, right? So consensus from them. Just think about Jeremiah 32, 27. Is anything too hard for me? Just think about it. God said to Jeremiah, is anything too hard for me? And then what about listener? The response. No, you are Almighty God, right? Kind of responses, expecting. What about the First Corinthians 10:22? You are not stronger than He, are we? Mean that we are not stronger than Jesus Christ, God, are we? No, they expecting kind of a response, even though he didn't get answer. This is a letter, right? You cannot communicate. This is one-way communication. So, they say no. Like this, kind of a different techniques. They use it. Another way that the figurative expression involving overstatement in or understand, kind of the understatement. Kind of there is exaggerated expression is there. What? Really? Like a kind of is your response? We couldn't do that. It's too much. Maybe when you read and when you heard, and maybe when you hear it, you maybe said it's too much. Yeah, it's too much. But why they exaggerate the fact? Why don't use a kind of exaggeration to express his feeling, his thought, his emotion? Just look at this, and then Deuteronomy 1:28, the cities are large and fortified to heaven. You know how strong the city is? It's a big city, but it's fortified, it's very strong and firmly established to the heaven. You cannot destroy that, right? And try to explain how the city is kind of well protected from the enemies and established strong, and it's hard to conquer the city. What about Psalm 6? Every night I make my bed swim. Can you see that? Can you swim on your bed? No. It means that maybe the psalmist has really, really bad things, and maybe he cried a lot. He cried a lot. What about Job 19:3? these 10 times you have inserted me. Right? There is a lot of way that they kind of exaggerate their feeling and emotion. Sometimes because it's too much. Maybe they feel in the way, though, right? Like they be like a job and it's too much for them and they could express in the way. Sometimes really give them kind of warning and emphasize and give them, exaggerate the hyperbole. What about liabilities? Liabilities is the use of the underestimate or the negative statement to express affirmation. I give you kind of affirmation, you make the affirmation and then use one negative expression, right? One who comes to me, the one who comes to me, I will by no means cast out. He's going to accept, right? As who they are, accept, but whereas by no means cast out is kind of expressed in a negative way, but the meaning is kind of a positive meaning, affirmation, right? Look at the that one is Jesus Christ said it in that Acts 21 and 39. I am a citizen of no insignificant city. Just think about insignificant city, but I'm citizen. Can you do that? It's a lot of kind of they kind of make it smaller, be little, and then make it be little, but still I'm in the part of that one. But I'm proud of that one, right? The irony, so kind of ridicule in the form of the compliment, which is opposite what it means, and then like this, First King 18:27 called out with a loud voice. Either he is occupied or gone aside, he's on his journey or asleep. Right? Just think about it. Can you see that one? Called out with a loud voice, but there's a gone aside and occupied, whether and journeys and asleep, and it's kind of funny. It's not it's not kind of logical. With you wisdom will die. Job 12:2. Just think about the situation that sometimes it's not with you wisdom will die and they mean they are. Even though we have kind of you're not wise. In other words. What about Hoolianism? Hoolianism kind of repeating, adding a word in English would see become redundancy, right? Kind of repeating, and but still there is Look at this, Job 42:5. I have heard of thee by the hearing of the ear. So kind of a hearing, hear, heard, and ear, and then, I heard mean, of course, by your ear, but you don't have to say it, but still, there is kind of, expression is there, and then, Deuteronomy 3:27, see it with your eyes. Can you see with the nose? No, right? It's a kind of one of the way they use the kind of expression. It's kind of maybe we know we know that, even though they don't have to say about eyes, I see maybe with my heart it's maybe different, but I see with my eyes. It's really clear, kind of clearly you cannot deny it, and you cannot, I saw clearly, right? God took an oath with the oath, what? Whatever you said and whatever he said, and then remember. Just kind of emphasis and more clarify what it means. It's like there is a sound, and they use the involving sound like poronomazer, poronomazer, they sound like that. Poronomazer, poronomapeer, like this, peer, like this, made peer. Poronomazer is kind of the use of the same word and similar sound word to suggest a different meaning. Look at this. Allow the dead to bury their own dead. What do you mean though? Similar sound to the dead and own dead. Right? How can just think about they died and how can they bury themselves? What it means there. Now think about the cause of the death and then the cause of another death, right? Sometimes it's leave you alone, right? What about Micah 1:10? So a battle, opera, the house of dust, rolls yourself in the dust. It's kind of this one is the meaning is a house of dust, meaning that rolls yourself in the dust. It's the same, right? But it's kind of a different word. It's sound is kind of different, but try to the sound. This one is kind of this one is a little bit clarify and then deliver the message. What about this one? Onomatopoeia, onomatopoeia, right? And onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia and paronomasia, paronomazer, and then onomatopoeia is kind of it's a hard word, but they try to involve the sound like this. This is used for the word that by each very sound suggests its meaning, like this, like eagle. The swoop on its prey. What does the swoop mean? It's kind of move rapidly downstairs through the air. It's a kind of eagle is swoop, right? Down like this. Like an eagle swoops like this. It's a lot of different expression way. It's a lot of this way, and what's a Stephanie's organize all things. I use his word. It's really good. Organized very well. So, but too much information sometimes I feel like so. When you kind of Google it and then what is figurative and expression is kind of there is you consider hyperbole and you consider personification, you consider simile, metaphor, and like this. They don't give like this a lot of specific information that use the Bible, but Stephen, yeah, kind of he did a lot of detailed information and kind of organized, yeah, by by categories, and then it was really helpful. But sometimes I feel like it's too much, and then just remember the simile, metaphor, right, and hyperbole, and then yeah, personifications, yeah. It's a lot of ways, it's a lot of things, and then you consider in the Bible how they did in Jerusalem, Jerusalem, why you kill the prophets and stone this sent to you. How often I have longed to gather to your children together as a hen gathers her chicks under his wing, under her wings, and you are not willing. You are not willing, like this. Right? Jesus Christ said that one. As a hen, kind of a sinless still, right? Yeah, when you read the Bible, when you try to study Bible in a lot of different ways, but still, just think about the techniques, and then it's a lot of condensed meaning, and then try to give you more kind of emotion and pictures and understanding better, and sometimes emphasize, and yeah. So it's not a plain, it's an unconventional way to express, but still it's really, really popular. It's a lot of things in the Bible. So remember that when you read the Bible like this, I have kind of I had a 50 something like that, and then but I'm not gonna use it because we already read a lot of stuff, right? And then uh, think about the purpose of the figurative expression. It try to helps you remember better and helps you understand better. But we are out of context from the time. That's why it's hard to understand. That's why we gotta go back to the time period and then try to see what happened, what is the culture about, how they talk, how they express, right? Okay, let's go to wisdom. Uh, Wisdom is about I don't know whether you guys read about the Proverbs. Yeah, that's one of wisdom. But poetry belongs to wisdom, but categorized in the poetry section, but it's wisdom. A lot of give you a lot of different things and practical idea and lessons, and what is the purpose of your wisdom? To know wisdom and instruction, and to understand the word of insight, and to receive instruction in wise dealing, in righteous justice, uh, equity. There is a purpose of wisdom that was the Solomon described. But uh, sometimes it's not related to God, but when you read in deep and always behind the underlying of the structure or the wisdom, and then there is kind of let them kind of bring their heart to God. One of the theologies there. Okay, so you can get the practical wisdom because through their experience, and then some wisdom is universal. Do you know what I'm saying? And yeah, we have generation gaps, right? Our father's a different generation, and I'm a different generation from my children, right? But they understand the world differently with a different perspective. But there is I believe that there is a wisdom, the universal wisdom coming down to generation to generation. even though sometimes, like wicked people, they are really successful, and then they kind of oppress and they did bad thing and kind of take advantage of the people and oppress and they're not fair, but still about 2,000 ago and 4,000 ago and 6,000 ago, same thing happened. But still, this isn't happen. But just it's different is how societies respond to that one, right? Just think about it. And there is kind of a lot of stuff, and then when you read the Proverbs, and a lot of stuff relates to our life, but still, some of them is kind of how can we deal with in kind of a current situation in our society? Kind of there's frustration there. Yeah, I'm have kind of frustration with power, money power, and political power. Even though they really bad thing and they got judged by the law, but they have money, they have power to buy, they have money to buy good lawyer. It's not a good lawyer. He defends themselves very well. Whether it is kind of fair or not, they don't mind. Yeah. So biblical justice is different from the social justice, but still righteousness is the same. But nowadays, righteous means kind of you are right in morality. But nowadays, the kind of morality is shaking, right? A lot of people say, just do whatever you want. Just do whatever you feel like. That's why there is no morality that Bible teaches. No, there is a clear morality there in the Bible. But societies kind of evolve and evolve and evolve, and then they come away from the God and they have their own thing. That's why the system is a legal system, political system, economic system is for whom? Not for the weak, not for the poor people. It seems like they said it's for the people, but not like this. That's why we gotta read the Bible and then we can see how we have to we have to behave if we really fear of the Lord. Yeah, look at this. The reasons, the characteristic is there. So it's a lot of practical orientations. Don't follow wicked and don't do wrongdoing stuff, and then really practical orientation though. Be fair and be righteous and all kind of stuff, right? And sometimes the situation that you cannot handle it, but they said the wisdom said what? God favors those who are righteous, who fears God like this. And there is let them, even though they are struggling in the society, and then what? Let them depend on God, and let people bring their heart to God. That's a wonderful way in wisdom. This one is kind of, it's not straightforward authority that you can do it, but kind of an indirect way you can deliver, right? Oh, this, but they want to do this, not that one, but But behind there, so we have theology there, right? Theology, when we interpret the Bible, theology is very important. Theology is what? Kind of, running down in the Bible. We cannot see, right? But all theology put together. That's a theology. But Yeah, it seems like it's really a lot of tons of the practical orientation and wisdom, but still, don't forget there's theology as God's people who is wise, right? Yeah, there is a form of wisdom literature. It's a Proverbs in the Bible and saying, and sometimes there is even though in the there is not in the Proverbs and wisdom section, but still a lot of this is scattered in the Bible. Sometimes Samson is there, and then he uses a riddle, and then there is kind of a saying and and kind of a way, and then sometimes you gotta do this, or why don't you do this one? So admonition and allegories, and then hymns and prayer and dialogue and confessions and kind of the person's name, be attitude. So a lot of different genres, different ways, to share to deliver the wisdom. So we consider when you read the Bible, and it's not just for spirituality, spiritual stuff, and but still for our own life, and then we can get the wisdom from their song, like Moses' song, like the Mary's song. There is a lot of a lot of things out there. So um, get the what is try to see what the what the text try to say, and we can get a kind of wisdom in nowadays. Okay. I'm gonna read some paragraphs that relate to the wisdom, and the Proverbs chapter 1. The the Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to discern the things of understanding, and to receive instruction in wise behavior, righteousness, justice, and equity. Do you know what does equity mean? So once I don't know the kind of equity mean, and I asked my daughter, and she said, "What is equity and equality?" And she looked at the kind of a computer, and she said, and so equality is kind of like this. When you that was a kind of it's a really interesting explanation. Is a picture said that if you see the kind of some scene, but there is a what is here, right? What is here, and just think about the this side, kind of keys in next to me. I can see the far away, right? But he's small and he cannot see the way, but the standing line is the same. There is an equality. They don't adjust. And then, okay, you guys stand the same place, same height, and see. That's equality. But equity means, I remember that one, and he's small, right? He cannot see. That's why he put the chair in like my height, he can see same level. That's equity. So it's very clear. Just think about our society when we say about the equality. Everybody is not standing same ground, right? And equity, and then everybody comes from different background. Their education is different. But we emphasize equality, and then they ignore everything. So, okay, same ground, you start here. So we see the world like this. But if we emphasize the equity in the world, okay, you gotta, nowadays you can see a lot of things. When you go to college, you apply for college, and then, oh, you have a poor background, and then you are the single mom, and you are the minority, and then when they apply college, they open the door for them, right? That is a kind of equality, equity, yeah. This is kind of purpose of the wisdom, to know wisdom instruction, and to discern the saying of the understanding, right? To receive instruction in wise behavior, righteousness and justice and equity. So to give prudence to the naive, just think about to give prudence to the naive and to the youth knowledge and discretion, right? Just think about if you are really naive and then wow, just listen and give them think more, and which one is right, which one is wrong, and you gotta really careful to decide, and then to use knowledge and discretion, and they don't know what to do, and they need to learn about the society, and then so even though they don't experience, and then what from the what is the forefathers or other people can get experience, and I can hear and I can learn something from them. That's why, and then they are in such a situation. Yeah, people give in that way, and maybe I can think about that way, like this. And wise men will hear and increase in learning, and man of understanding will acquire wise counsel. So you gotta learn more, and then get the kind of counsels from the books, right? If you are wise and you consider different way, maybe I will think about a different way, and then you can be more kind of way that think of different way to think. To understand the proverbs and figure the word of the wise and the readers. So there's proverbs there, and the figures there, and the reader is there, and saying is there. Everything is a lot of things there to give you wisdom. But there is theology here. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Right? That's the theology. Every wisdom from God. It means that from the God's word, we can learn about justice, equity, righteousness, wise behavior. You don't follow this a trend of the society. A lot of trends are crooked, come against God's way. Because just think about Solomon. He's one of the wisest king in history. He had tons of the wealth, thousands of wives. The end of his day, he wrote like this. So that's the theology. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge and wisdom, and the fool despise wisdom and instruction. Who is wise? Who is fool? Just think about here. The wise fear the Lord. The fool don't fear the Lord, right? This kind of there. And then hear, my son, your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. Indeed, they are graceful reed to your head and ornament about your neck. Right? It gives you a lot of benefit. My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. Like this. It's a practical orientation, kind of instructions there. And then there's a purpose issue and theology issue, right? What about this one? It's a really practical one, Proverbs 6 and 6 to 8. Yeah. So this one is when you think about when you start this paragraph, and then if you don't know the word and then try to understand, look up at the concordance, right? Yesterday, we had a Bible study, small group Bible study every Sunday. Nowadays, we had a meeting through the Zoom, and then I was studying the Bible, and I never thought about the original meaning. So I had a really aha moment, and commit to the Lord. And it's kind of always saying, and then okay, trust in the Lord, and God's gonna God's gonna bless you, and another verse said, commit to the Lord. So it seems like I always thought about it, and then I gotta do something, to fully devote myself to God, right? That is a kind of I understand it, because commit means that in kind of nuances that you had a kind of responsibility and devote, right? You have a responsibility and devote to that one. So I understand the word commit to the Lord, and then you gotta devote yourself to the Lord, and then you gotta do something to the Lord, right? But original meaning of commit means galal. It's a galal. It means a kind of roll over, like remove, take away. Kind of, do you know that the big stone is there, and then you gotta roll over them. Meaning that I thought about how can roll over something to the Lord. That is commit. Maybe our barriers is there, and then maybe our burden is there, and then just take away and to the Lord. That is commit, not to do something. I mean that you gotta still do it, but it's not original meaning. It's not like that. That's why when you read it, when you study the Bible, so just think about wisdom, and justice. I wanted to give equity like this. You gotta study the basic word, right? Original meaning. What is it? That one. So sometimes the nuance is different from the people generally use in the word, but sometimes the biblical terminology is kind of different from the general meaning. Like this, and this one is another kind of proverbs, and then they use animal like this, and then look at this. Go to the end, and O sluggard, observe your ways and be wise. Which, having no chief officer or rulers, and prepares for her food in the summer, and gathers the her provision in the harvest. How long will you lie? How long will you lie down, O sluggard? When you will arise from your sleep, or little sleep, or little slumber, or little folding of the hands to rest, your poverty will come in like a vagabond, and you need like armed man. You need like armed man. Look at this, The proverb said he used the one animal, and then tried to teach us about diligence. right? And no chief officer and ruler, maybe he's already thorough observer and knows about characteristics of our ant. But work hard, prepare, and then harvest, and then what? For the winter. Who are lazy and hey, get up, get out of the bed and work something like this. There's a kind of practical orientation, but use a kind of what is a figurative way, right? Expression. What about the Matthew chapter 5? It's a kind of different things, and there is a beatitude. Jesus Christ said on the mountain, and I'm gonna read you. But when Jesus saw the crowd, Matthew chapter 5, and then when Jesus saw the crowd, he went up on the mountain. After he sat down, his disciple came to him. He opened his mouth and began to teach them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for there is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are the poor in spirit, there is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the gentle, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for the righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, they shall receive the mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, and they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemaker, they shall be called the Son of God. Blessed are those who have been persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you and persecute you, and both say all kind of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward in heaven is great. In the same way, they persecuted the people, the prophet who were before you." Now, this is a kind of wisdom, and that is a kind of the ethics that the Christian have to live in a way. Sometimes it's hard to understand, right? Just think about it. Blessed are, can you see that? Blessed are when people insult you and persecute you. And falsely say all kind of evil against you because of me. In this world, it's not a blessing. It's a disaster, right? Yeah. But think about it. What can you learn from these verses? It's totally different values from the society. What about from the society's values? And if you are Christian, as a Christian, we can learn from this one, wisdom, to live a life as a Christian. Give you wisdom. Just think about it, verse, blessed are you when people insult you and persecute you and falsely saying all kind of evil against you because of me. Nowadays, I don't know whether you kind of feel or not, and then if you identify yourself as a Christian, now there's a lot of people are pointing their fingers on you, right? Even though you don't do anything wrong, that society. From this wisdom, and then we can learn this kind of wisdom. Oh, how can we do that? How can we live in this society? Kind of, it's very, very hostile to Christians. Yeah, this be attitude is, but still it's hard, and but we can get a lot of wisdom, though, right? Blessed are the poor in spirit. Whether regardless of how much you have, and it doesn't matter. But if you kind of poor in spirit, you're gonna seek more God and God and God, more and more, all the more. That's why he said, "Yours is the kingdom of heaven." Regardless of how much you have and how much you are famous, it doesn't matter, right? Sometimes if you have more fans, and if you have more power, it's hard to follow the God's way. It's hard to live with the instruction that the Bible gives. Yeah, try to get a wisdom though from this it's chapter 7 and 6, 5, 6, 7. There's a beatitude, and there is this kind of wisdom is there with the current situation though. Yeah. So it's not that hard to understand wisdom, because it's really a lot of things we can um, agree or kind of understandable, because our cultural background, my cultural background is similar to the Hebrew cultural background. But I don't, each Western society is different from the Hebrew cultural background, right? Hebrew culture. So maybe I don't know where you guys come from, but still, we can kind of understand a lot of things, because there is a similarity. It's always there. Even though you from the individualistic society, or even you guys come from the collective society, it doesn't matter. There is the universal law is there, but whether you ignore or not, and then still universal law is there, like God's word. Yeah. So it's not that hard to understand these words, but it's really kind of a hard this verse and apply into our current situation in this time, right? But I think at that time is a lot of the Christians and persecuted by the Jew and others, and what they scattered, and then kind of God used the kind of scatter to expand the kingdom of God, the gospel to the people, right? Sometimes you like really stupid if you follow this instruction, but still, yeah, I don't know. So whether for Christians, and the standard of life is God's word, it's not our legal system. I don't mean that, we respect them, but still, our basic values and what's a standard is a God's word, right? So get the wisdom from the God's word. And it's a kind of overview about the figurative and speech and language and all the wisdom. Maybe you can try to read the what is a Proverbs chapter. It's a 31 chapters, and some people is kind of they follow the day and read every day one chapters, and maybe think about it. Sometimes it's really, if you follow the directions, maybe you may hear that you are really outdated. Kind of tree kind of you may be treated like kind of foolish, but still not really though, not really. And next week, we're gonna study about prophecy and yeah, apocalypse, and then it's kind of about they use a lot of figures, and then yeah, it's a different way, and then we can study about and how can we see, and then yeah, it's a more harder, but there is a clear message though. Yeah, but there is use a lot of figures. But today is kind of wisdom and figurative, and then if you have a kind of figurative is kind of we need understand of the literature, kind of literature skills to how they express and how they deliver the message in different way. It's not it's not conventional way, and then we can see that one, and then it's kind of understand and we can have a feeling, yeah, we can see what is the emphasis is there, warning is there, and but wisdom is really kind of it's not hard to understand. It's hard to understand. You don't need much kind of research about that one because it's clearly relates to our daily life. But culture may be different, but nowadays if you take this word and then it's a little treated kind of a different way, and then you are kind of maybe left out by people, because of they have different values and philosophy of life, right? So I hope you guys kind of if you, I want you to read um, next week Jeremiah chapter 31, Jeremiah chapter 31, and Revelation in 22. So we're gonna review kind of quick how to study about that one, but not verse by verse. We don't have enough time, and just read and then thoroughly, and then understand the whole chapters, what is going on, and if there is any cultural stuff, and try to look up the online and to understand them, and then if there is historical background you are interested in wonders and mentioned in the Bible, and then you could look it up, okay? And it's a really symbolic things a lot, and especially chapter 22. And chapter 31 is a little bit different, So try to read Jeremiah chapter 31 and Revelation 22. So try to kind of see the kind of what is the key word, and then try to understand it. Do you know Bible hooks? And then I told you, and then look it up. Okay, words and look it up, and there is kind of all direction is then click, and you can see the meaning. All right, and then if you have time, and you could read the other resources, but personally, you can have a kind of a basic idea about something from the Wikipedia, but sometimes it's not reliable. But when I read the kind of Wikipedia, and then I always click the citation number and go back to where is got the information, who said it, because of the credibility, and sometimes just wrote it and their own ideas, and then the information that they heard, but it's hard to clarify if it's true or not, and then credibility is there. So try to look it up the website, and then read some if you I strongly recommend, but if you don't have time, maybe you cannot. So Any question about today lectures, and just let me know. And we can talk about the email, text, or the phone call. So yeah, just let me know, and just the first time, and just email it to me, and then we can talk about it. And maybe if you want to talk about the life issues, and just let me know. So maybe yeah, we can talk and we can think about together. So I hope you guys and have a wonderful week and take care of yourself very well and stay healthy. All right, and yeah, that's yeah.